Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 21 of Walking with Jay. Tonight I'm walking alone. After last night's Walking with Jay, where I had a special guest, Lee Blue, one of my friends from kindergarten. We grew up together in Lincoln County. It's going to be very strange trying to follow that up. Lee is a dynamo of high energy and just he's got a memory like a steel trap, and just a great guy. And so it was so cool to be able to hang out with him last night and go for a walk. Hopefully we'll be able to do that on a continuing basis. So tonight I'm just walking by myself, which is fun. It's fine. Get kind of lonely. I won't be laughing as hard tonight, I know that's for sure. So I'm just gonna walk around here in the parking lot and just kind of process the week, what I've been up to, and what I plan on doing for the weekend, which I don't know. I usually don't make plans until the very last moment because so much depends on how we feel, how I feel, how my wife feels, and that's just a moment by moment thing sometimes. So we don't make too big a future plans. We just a lot of times one day at a time is good enough for us. So today was a fun day at work. We loaded up the guys and we went up to, we wanted to go to Zion National Park, but it was so crowded up there that we ended up stopping at the park in Springdale, which is the town just outside of Zion, and did some walking there with one of my peers, and it was a good time. It's beautiful up in there. I don't know if you've ever been to Zion, but I highly recommend it. It's a beautiful park. So yeah, and then for the rest of this afternoon I was trying to figure out how to post one of the songs that my brother Matt and I recorded back on Labor Day. Was it Labor Day last year? I don't know when it was. Anyway, we wrote it on Labor Day. I think it was this previous Labor Day, and so I was trying to figure out how to post that to Facebook so people could hear it. And I got really frustrated because I'm trying to use the software on my phone to write the lyrics out and to post them, and they just didn't turn out quite how I wanted them to turn out, so I got a little frustrated. But hey, people will get the idea. And yeah, I'm really proud of that song. It was kind of a neat song. Old Matt gets to show off some of his musical genius. See, that's what I do, is I surround myself with great people. I'll tell you what, that if there's any key to success in life, that's what you got to do. You got to surround yourself with people who are just really talented, and some of that rubs off on you. So yeah, Matt, he got to break out a resonator guitar on the track. He used a jaw harp, and what else did he use on it? We used my 12-string guitar on it. We used, what else? He played drums, he played bass. Yeah, and it was kind of a neat song to create. It's kind of got a country feel to it. It's got kind of a rock feel to it. And I threw some jazz guitar chords in there that I learned back in '86 when I was playing in the jazz band in high school. And so threw those in there. We just kind of mixed it all together, and that's what came out. It's a song about, my intention on that was to write a song that would be just kind of nostalgic and stuff like that, and I think it turned out pretty nicely. And anytime you get a name drop in there like I did with, throw Brad Triplett's name in there, and Lee Blue, and my brother Matt and Anna, anytime you get to drop names, it's a great way to write a song for me, because it triggers a lot of memories for me. Anyway, yeah, so here we go, 5 minutes into this thing. We're doing all right. We're doing hard things, I'll tell you. What am I excited about? What am I most excited about? I don't know what I'm excited about. I've been doing a lot more posting on Facebook and just letting people know what I'm doing as far as my recovery goes. And that makes me feel kind of vulnerable a lot of times, but that's okay. I think that's all part of the process. And you know, what do I got to lose anyway, you know? So I've already got a job, I already got a wife, got a roof over my head, I got clothes. What do I really risk? How people think of me? You know, hey, I do want people to think well of me, of course, but anyway, see, I need Lee here because I would be laughing. I wouldn't be getting into these deep waters all the time. So there's a time and a place for everything, and yeah. So anyway, what was I talking about? I don't know. It's hard to be funny when you're just by yourself, you know? It's like I'm staring at you, but I'm actually staring at this camera here, you know? And it's kind of weird. So let's see. And it's okay for me to be quiet too. I got to remind myself that I don't have to be talking the whole time. What do I want to do with my life? That's the question, right? About 2 years ago, I was hospitalized as a result of my mental illness, and it's taken 2 years to kind of build my life back together, and we're still building. We're far from there yet. So, oh gosh. So that's heavy topics again. I don't know what else to talk about, you know. And that's kind of a problem, I think, because, you know, when you look at it, one of the things that I wanted to avoid at all costs was to have bipolar disorder to become my master status. In other words, that's what people know me by. The problem with it being my master status is that it kind of limits my potential. In that there's a thing called stigma, and what stigma does is it takes a label like bipolar and creates limitations for people. One of the ways that it creates limitations is that when you hear the word bipolar, you might think of someone who is incapable of functioning in modern society. And so, oh wow, you know what? After last night's episode, I really feel kind of weird about this whole show tonight. This is just the J-Man and his doubts and insecurities coming out, but it's okay. I'm just gonna plug through. I'm going to promote this one probably as much as I promoted last night's. But, so, all right. Talking about master status. And what a master status is how you are defined in your eyes and in the eyes of other people. And so, you talk about people who are athletes or people who are musicians or people who are politicians. These are all master statuses, and they kind of define who we are and how we behave in the world. And so when I debated for a long time how much I wanted to identify with my diagnosis. And the reason I debate with that is because it does bring a lot of limiting thoughts into my head, you know, about what I'm capable of and what I can do. yeah, so you ever see that Saturday Night Live character Debbie Downer or whatever? Wah, wah. Anyway, so yeah, those are pretty heavy topics. So yeah, I guess this is kind of a point in my life where I get to decide how much I really do want to identify with bipolar disorder. It's kind of like you can't unring a bell though, you know. So people who know me already know that I have bipolar disorder, and it's pretty much out there, you know. But the fact of the matter remains that I am much more than my diagnosis. That I'm a dad, I'm a husband, I'm a peer support specialist, I'm a case manager, certified case manager. Have a lot of capabilities. I'm a musician, I'm a walker, look at me walking, and so we just keep going with that. I actually did write a poem about it. I'm a public speaker. I'm a poet, public speaker. I use that. I wrote a poem to be given in a public speech, and it was called "I Am Not Bipolar," and talking basically about all of the things that I am. And I am not bipolar because I am not a disease. And so that just ties back to what we call a person first language in the mental health field, where we don't call people schizophrenics or bipolars or those type of things, because it's kind of dehumanizing, whereas you put their illness ahead of who they are as a person. And so I don't like to do that to other people. I don't like to hear it when other professionals call people schizophrenics and stuff like that. And you can say, oh, well, that's just political correctness, and maybe there is something to that. But yeah, I don't know, I just think it's kind of nice to call people rather than schizophrenics or bipolars or diabetes or a diabetic. I don't know, I guess it goes all the way around. There's no easy answer for those kind of things. It's one of those philosophies, I guess. So yeah, not every episode of Walking with Jay is going to be filled with joy and laughter. I wish it could be. Man, that would be fun. I'd have to have Lee on the show every night. Not a bad idea. I don't know if he'd be up to it, but it's definitely not a bad idea. So he lives in town, for crying out loud. But maybe there is some value in me getting serious and talking about issues that I face with stigma and with those type of things, because I think there are people who buy into the stigma a lot more than I do. People who are a lot more I know people who won't work because they don't feel like they're capable of it because of their diagnosis, you know. And that, to me, that's really sad, because for me, work gives so much value and meaning to my life and purpose and direction and all of those things that I just couldn't imagine not working. Every time that I get hospitalized, I don't know if I'm going to bounce back, you know. You really don't know how sick I get with this stuff. But well, some of you do. But yeah, when I'm that sick and in the hospital, I really feel like I'm going to have to end up going on benefits. And the hard part with benefits is that once you're on those benefits, it's hard to motivate yourself to want to have to work, because when you work, then you end up losing your benefits. And so it just seems like a catch-22 kind of for a lot of people. And so I'm fortunate that I didn't have to go on benefits, that I was able to get back to work and I remember those first days of work back in 2015 when I first came back after a long period of time, so long, and had so many people at Southwest Behavioral Health Center donated leave so that I could continue to make a paycheck when I wasn't even at work. And I mean, I just feel a huge debt of gratitude to all of the fine employees at Southwest Behavioral Health Center. And so yeah, but when I first came back, it was just horrible. All I could do was just pace around the program, and I really struggled for a long time. I came back a couple hours a day and then had to go home, and it was super tough. But so yeah, but I'm feeling better now, you know, and that's the neat thing, is that I feel so much better than I did just two short years ago, you know. I feel a lot better. I've worked with my doctor to reduce the number of medications that I'm on. I just told my psychiatrist, I said, hey, listen, I want to be on the and this was probably about 6 months ago, I guess. I told him that I wanted to be on the least amount of medications possible in order to maintain my stability. And so I want to be on the lowest therapeutic dosage, is the term I used. And so we just worked together, and tentatively, we just gradually peeled back different medications, and until now I've got one medication that I'm on called gabapentin. They use it for neuropathy, but they also use it for it's an off-label use for bipolar disorder. And what I mean by off-label is that it's not FDA approved for the treatment of bipolar disorder. But when I first got out of the hospital, I had a doctor. All these doctors like to put you on different medications too. They all have their kind of pet prescriptions, I feel like, and I could be wrong with that. But that's just kind of been my case. They have their pet prescriptions, and so you go to one doctor and he'll put you on these medicines, and then that doctor will go out of practice and you'll have to find another psychiatrist, or you end up hospitalized and then there's another psychiatrist, and then, you know, you get out of the hospital and you have to find another psychiatrist. And so I've been through a lot of psychiatrists over the years, and with each psychiatrist came a change in medications based on what their preference was for medications, but also on medications that I didn't tolerate very well. And so yeah, some of them cause seriously flat affect in me. In other words, here's bipolar and here's where I was when they were, you know, and it's normal to have some ups and downs, right? But I would get to where I just didn't feel anything, and that's not a fun place to live. That's not a really inspiring place to live. And so I had to get off those medicines. Some of them cause weight gain. Pretty convinced that my overeating caused the weight gain, but there are things that the medications do to the brain that cause you to overeat and not digest as fast, and all kinds of different things. And so they cause weight gain, which can lead to diabetes, which I have. And so it's just, you know, it's a crapshoot with meds. I don't want to ever discourage people from going on meds, because I know a lot of people whose lives have been changed greatly because they found that right med or combination of meds that has helped them to feel better and helped them to cope. And so that's just, for me, I have had a hard time finding something that worked. And so anyway, here we go. That's, you get me rapping about bipolar disorder and medication and stuff like that, and I don't know if that's valuable to any of you. And if it is, and you're still with me, and I just want to thank you for hanging out with me and taking the time to listen to what I have to say, and hopefully that you'll get some value out of the content. And I know I do. I feel better already just talking about it. So I'm just going to keep talking about it until the cows come home, if you will. Well, speaking of cows going home, that's me right now. I love you guys. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.